Welcome back. I'm back at it. Here we are. I'm back on YouTube again. Woo! Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for.
Why? I just don't get it. I always catch you fuckers watching this sick shit. This is sickening.
We've had a bit of a break trying to get things organized, but we are back here to give you guys the lowdown on Starcitizen. However, for those that are new to the channel, don't actually know, we're not here just to give you a verbatim script reading of whatever is said on Starcitizen, because if you want to do that, go watch one of the other guys. This is my opinion on what is going on in Starcitizen, where it is at, how the patches are going, all that sort of good stuff. If you want the verbatim stuff, I'm sure there's other boring channels you can go to. We've had a lot go on. 3.19 has been massive. It has been massive for our channel, been massive for our Discord. It's been massive just in general. So we've had a lot going on. We have a new PC. I have finally finished building the beast of a PC.
Oh, I'm touching myself tonight.
I will eventually put a little, screenshot up of it so you guys can actually read it. The stats will go up on Twitch as well. But it is great, so we can do a lot more with that. It's got bigger capacity, more fun stuff, and especially for our YouTube videos and everything else, it was just going to be able to do more content faster, which is really, really cool. For the streaming side, we've actually come out with a lot more. We've got a stable stream. We're going to be multicasting our stream ourselves, which means for our YouTube viewers and for our Twitch viewers, it will be tailored to your stream perfectly. So if you guys are watching this stream or you do watch the stream, those will be really, really cool. So that's what's happening with us. That's why I've been away for a little bit, trying to get all this organized and get the stream looking a lot better, and as well as being able to bring out content to you guys. The big thing for us really was the fact that I can now stream and get a clean recording. So all the B-roll footage, because like you guys probably know, I don't use stock footage from Starcitizen. So I like to use the in-game footage and go from there, because I think it's kind of cheap just using stock footage as opposed to going out and getting your own. Because, I mean, you guys want to see me play the game. And if I'm not playing the game for you guys, then how do I know what I'm talking about? So, where does that leave us with 3.19?
And here we go.
I think 3.19 has probably been the best patch we've had for a long time. It's a lot more stable than a lot of other patches. The EU servers at the moment are the best. The Asian servers were the better before then. Australian, we're seeing this cycle of servers, and I think that is occurring because of maintenance on the servers. It's just a cycle. So at the moment, the EU servers seem to be the best, but they are still running pretty good considering the amount of stuff that we currently have in the game. For instance, we've had salvage come in, and that has been a big thing. We've actually have physicalized cargo and salvage. We can actually take things out of ships, and we've got persistent entity streaming, which actually works, which has been really, really good. We're seeing a lot of things work, a lot of fun little gameplay loops that are coming around. So I think the stuff tech that is going in is really, really good, and it's working. It's working really well. The mining at the moment has been debuffed a little bit, I believe. You're not making as much money mining anymore. However, trade is back. That's the really cool thing. 3.19 trade has come back, as well as the drug trade has come back. All those space truckers out there that have been waiting for this to happen, we're finally being able to get back to space trucking. The things that haven't been going so well with 3.19 that I think is, we've got the Ninetail missions. Not many of them actually being run. I mean, we've got the Defend Stanton mission, which kind of didn't go very well. A lot of load on the servers, and they didn't really handle it very well. Defend Horizon missions and the Defend Station missions, I haven't seen them. So the Defend the Platform mission as well, which is like an in-game mission, kind of like Defend Horizon. I haven't even seen that mission being played yet. So I think there's a lot more to go when it comes to the servers, and I don't think continually loading these servers up is really working. I think CIG's noticed that. That's why they've probably pulled back these types of missions, the dynamic missions as they call them. And I think we probably might we'll probably still see them pop up and again to load test servers, and I think that's what CIG's using them for right now, is to load test the server as opposed to actually rolling them out properly. I don't think we'll see them rolled out properly and in the game like they envision them to be in the game until we at least get server meshing going. So the reason for that is just the load on the servers. It's literally overloads the servers. We end up having a whole lot of 30k crashes, stuff slows down, and the game just becomes like really frustratingly unplayable. So I don't think we're going to see those come in to their full state that CIG would like until we actually get server meshing in. However, we did see Jumptown, the new Jumptown 2.0. I really like it, especially the fact you can sneak around. However, it's hard to get there. I don't think we have enough stealthy ships to get in close enough, and it's very easy to defend Jumptown now from the outside, which is really, really weird, because if you get 5 or 6 dudes on, unless there's a bigger group that comes along, you get 5 or 6 dudes on, you're probably going to be able to hold Jumptown in the air now, as opposed to on the ground. It does create a little bit of a, back loop where usually only one group will take over Jumptown and nobody else will really bother, because it's so hard to get the drugs out of Jumptown. So I think there needs to be another relook at how Jumptown works to, one, not just make it profitable for a group to stay there for a little while, but to make it so the fighting, I don't know, something needs to happen to be able to make it a little bit more fun, because I don't think people even really care about Jumptown anymore, because it's just so hard to go up against a group of 6 dudes, or, you can't infiltrate into Jumptown without anyone noticing. It's really, really hard to get a ship close to Jumptown without anybody noticing. So I think there needs to be a refactor of maybe stealthy components, a stealth play in Starcitizen to really make Jumptown come out. Because it'd be really, really cool if you just have someone be able to sneak in and just one person just be a pain in the ass. Because at the moment I'm seeing a lot of people just in the air and not many people on the ground, and not seeing that both those two components coming into play, which would really make Jumptown come out. However, the one good thing about Jumptown I've seen is that everyone knows how to deal with an A2 now, which is interesting. So a lot less A2s coming in and bombing things like they used to do, because they're not as tanky as they used to be. Whilst I believe this is a good thing in the short term, I do think how tanky A2s was actually good, but we just needed a ship like the Perseus to be able to come and smack an A2 down. If we can get something like that in, then I think it will balance it out. Hopefully the A2 will go back up to being a little bit more tanky. But at the moment, A2s are really not that tanky, especially with distortions. Everyone's loving the distortion gameplay in Atmo. It's a new kind of meta thing to do. So the other two things we kind of got in 3.19 was Ghost Hollow and SPK. Now, we've played a lot of Ghost Hollow, and we're actually enjoying it. I think it's kind of become the new Jumptown, because it actually does change hands quite often. And unlike Jumptown, where you've got to get the drugs off the ground and load them all up, so there's a long period of time when you're loading a ship up where someone can come in and just destroy just the ship with drugs. Ghost Hollow, you can stand there, you don't have to, you can help defend, and that money keeps rolling. So I think Ghost Hollow is actually kind of better than Jumptown, because it does allow that change of hands, but you also still get to profit if you get smacked. Like, there's still time, but you're not there just losing 3 dudes to moving boxes or something like that. Or you don't have a vulnerable ship on the ground, which has all the money in it, that you kind of have to try and defend, but it's really, really hard to defend, especially if they come in with a, retaliator and just missile it. So it is, I really, really like how Ghost Hollow works. That's how I kind of envision Jumptown kind of working, but it's a little bit different. I think Jumptown needs a little bit more tweaking to kind of feel like how Ghost Hollow does, where there is an exchange of hands and it's a fun little fight, and we're actually really enjoying Ghost Hollows. SPK. So we've tried SPK 3 times and we still can't get the boss to spawn. SPK is a bit of an interesting one. Whilst it is easy to get in, I really don't know how anyone's going to be profiting off the drugs. So we found, even after we had taken over the station, destroyed all the turrets would respawn, and I think that's really dumb. I think there should be a way to either disable the turrets in SPK so that you can fly in and out, and then re-enable them when you want, which would be very interesting gameplay, because it means that, you know, whilst, you know, your ships are away, you can have the turret, you know, SPK defend you so that nobody else can come in and hurt you, and then whilst you're loading up the drugs, you know, there's that vulnerability there, so you'd have to be a bit more alert. It'd be really, really cool if they had that sort of ability to be able to turn on and turn off the turrets, but they don't. So I just don't know how the drug gameplay there really benefits anybody, apart from killing the boss, which everyone wants to kind of do and get his helmet because he's got some really nice armor. But I think SPK needs to be re-looked at, especially around the turrets and missile turrets. They're just OP at the moment, and I don't think it makes for a very fun gameplay. 3.19, I think all up has run really, really well, especially the bug fixes that they've come out. They've really been on top of some of the bug fixes. They've really been on top of fixing things very quickly, identifying issues, and getting those out. 3.19.1 has come out. I think it has gone pretty well. I don't think we've seen too many issues that have lasted long, which is really, really good sign that CIG is quickly fixing and identifying these issues. So all up, really, really good patch. Probably one of the better patches or best patches up there. It's definitely up in the top 5 patches that we've seen in Starcitizen so far. Whilst there was a lot of tech that went into 3.17 and 3.18, we're also seeing CIG kind of develop into understanding what the players want and what the players are doing, and developing the game and the missions around that. The kind of things that we've seen now is that the mission team has come out with some cool stuff inside Starcitizen this afternoon. We had paint stripping missions where you get to be Ninetales and go cover up shit. And I kind of like that because it reminds me of, you know, those mafia movies where, you know, the mafia dudes kill all the, you know, dudes they're trying to kill, and they have their cleanup team come in. I think it's really kind of cool that we have that in the game. We're literally having mafia cleanup teams come in the game. That's kind of really cool that they were able to think outside the box and how to actually do that, and how that's actually implemented. And the cool thing about that is we're seeing these missions being implemented faster and faster. I mean, the next mission we had, which I'm super excited for, is they've actually fixed the Crusader missions. Now, these came in at 3.18 and were taken out for 3.19 because they just didn't work. Apparently, you know, only one person could do a mission at one time, and if any more than one person did it, it just like crashed everything. So I was actually looking for this mission. I nearly got to do it once and the whole server crashed. So it was really disappointing, but it's really good to see these missions come back, and that the team has actually worked out a way of sorting this out by pretty much just like putting a whole bunch of shit out there and everyone now gets to play. That's really, really cool. More platforms is really, really good. I know that some people are just like, oh, well, you know, they didn't actually fix the ability for us to multiple people to do the same mission. I don't know if that's the intent for multiple people to do the same mission. However, more content and more places to go and more things to do, in my eyes, isn't a bad thing. The other interesting mission that's come up is consignment missions. Now, I read this in the roadmap a little while ago. I didn't really understand what they were kind of talking about. They didn't really give a good description of that. But in Inside Starcitizen this week, we got a really good description of what those consignment missions are, and they sound like they're awesome. I know we all love our favorite bit of armor and our favorite bit of, you know, flair that we like running around in, and at the moment it is actually incredibly hard to find some of these armors. I know that there is currently a armor dupe. We tested it out and it does work, but that will probably be patched in the next patch coming up in 3.20. So we need a way of finding those cool bits of armor. And I think this is a way that CIG is allowing us to find one mission that we know we can go to and find this armor, or kit, or weapon, or whatever else we're trying to find. A cool little thing that we like to flare around. I think it's really, really cool. And the fact that the consignment missions is also paired with AI waves, which I believe they tried to do, I think back in 3.16. They tried to do waves of AI and it just didn't work. So it seems like they've got these waves of AI tech down pat now, and it seems like they're also being variable. So, you know, as it goes on, you're going to get stronger and harder AI. Now, obviously, if there's a really, really good org, or you've got a good group of people, you'll be able to like go in there and no worries deal with this. Or maybe it does get to, you know, it just keeps accumulating and accumulating to the point you can't hold back anymore. So it'd be really, really interesting to see how tough this is and how tough it does get, and whether it does just keep accumulating, whether we get to the heavy guys and then it's just a matter of, you know, they start spawning hundreds of them and then the server crashes, or whether there is a point in which they go, yep, okay, sweet, you guys are just going to get the same wave over and over again now, and you seem to be able to deal with it, so we can start, you know, farming some of that stuff out. Be really interesting to see how they actually implement these consignment missions and if they're balanced or not. The other cool thing that's coming in, which I think is a long awaited for not just pirates, but also for people in ships, is the trespassing function in your ship. Now, this sounds like a really, really interesting function, especially when he started talking about, you know, the fact that, you know, the tech needed to be worked out to be able to have a ship in ship. So who's, you know, trespassing who when you start landing ships inside of each other. And it seems like they've sorted that out. We'll see if that is the case when we do go in. But the cool thing is it's now a KOS if you board someone's ship. So I think it's really cool because I'm going to plant someone to be a guard on the back of my ship. And if someone comes in, fucking blammo, they're going to be dead. So it's kind of cool that you have to station guards at your ship to protect your ship. Or, you know, if you're by yourself, you gotta lock your shit up now. It's like living in the, you know, the Bronx or something. I don't know how America is, but I guess for Australians, it's like living in Bankstown. You know, you gotta lock your shit up or you're gonna get it stolen. So I think it's really, really cool that they're given this functionality and they're finally addressing this issue, especially when it came to, you know, they even addressed it quite directly in the video of griefing, using the current function and functionality, which, you know, we literally saw in our stream the other night, of being able to get onto people's ships, cause all kinds of havoc, and you really can't do anything about it. So the trespass function will really close that loop and stop people using, you know, abusing the gameplay functions at the moment, and allow people to actually defend their ships even in safe zones. It looks like it because it was, you know, showcased in a safe zone. So it'll be interesting whether we can actually kill people in a safe zone if you're on a ship, whether you pass that threshold and you can now pull your weapon out. Yeah, it'd just be really, really interesting whether you can actually do that sort of stuff. So, you know, guards, you know, you can hire guards now and have them guard your ship. So really, really cool little function, and we'll see how that actually plays out. The other major mission that's coming that won't be in 320, but they talked about in Inside Starcitizen, I thought it would be something good to mention here, is Barge Heist. Now, whilst the description they gave seemed a lot of detail and they seemed like they had nutted out, to me, what I got out of that is they kind of really just recently, you know, gameplayed this or game planned it, and it's definitely something that's very new. They didn't seem like they had very much idea on, you know, exactly what direction this was going for. I understand the concept of the barge heist missions, but it's really, really cool that they're already thinking about, you know, that reputation system when it comes to Crusader and Ninetales. And I've been a big advocate for, you know, making sure that you have, you know, 2 accounts, because, you know, in the future, if you want to play pirate, you're going to have a pirate account. And if you want to play a good guy, you're going to have a good guy account. And being able to switch between the two is going to become increasingly harder. So it's really, really cool to see that. They're already thinking about that, and missions that actually go into that sort of gameplay. But we'll see how the barge heist missions do work out. And again, like the consignment missions, it's going to be one of those missions where we get to see all that cool loot and all the cool stuff that we've been trying to, like, all hoard, come into play, and one point where we can go and find all those cool little flair items that we like to actually collect. And that's all I have now, and we will be back on streaming soon, and I hope to see you guys all in the verse.